Okay, I say Einstein was wrong, just totally wrong. Hubble's totally wrong. Light speeds up, it slows down, it does anything it wants to do, dependent upon where it is going, the gravity of where it is at. And that is related to magnetic attraction of a positive Earth, pulling that electron down at 1 electron volt per electron. That's light. All right, that's light. So light's going light speed, right? How about this? That's that same light. Now it's accelerated and screaming into plasma as it concusses in that venturi, which is an acceleration device. And it spits out all of these negative particles, and they stream away from each other to try to get away from each other. That's not a wave, floppy wave going this way. It's a spinning particle. And it spins through the slit. Some go out this way, some come over the top and go this way. Primarily they come through the center. Any way they come out, they at a certain point they disassociate from each other and they begin to try to escape. That is accelerated light. That means light is not one single speed. And I'm going to show you something else. Look at this. It goes in at 186,000 miles an hour. It's actually a second. They got this so screwed up. And it goes and it slows down in the water, and then it slows down at the glass, and then it goes back up to the same speed again. It's insanity. What it's doing is it's slowing down. It's not going to speed back up again. There's nothing in the universe will make that speed back up again. It is eventually going to concuss and stop being light. I mean, that's what happens. These are particles. They slam into things. They concuss, they glow, and then they become part of the thing they was slammed into, which is heat. Okay, I do believe I have just probably dozens of videos about this. I've been working on this light for years now. Rodney Warren did the pictures, and I did the atomic theory. Now, this is the pulsed red laser. This is the acceleration, showing the plasma. It's a particle, all that. Up here is how the Higgs fields come after the Cherenkov radiation, and they called bosons, little flying particles over here, these little filaments. And when they smash into the ether, they fluff up into the polarized particles surrounding it. This, I don't know what that is. And Rodney and I are the only ones that ever saw that, as far as I know. See it there? I don't know what it is, but it was a reverse spinning particle coming through the venturi. Same particle coming through as all the rest of them, only it had a white glow to it and no field. Now it smashes into another one and emits that. Now, this is the particles we see, and I have a whole story about that. And this is the spinning particle that we see, whoops, coming out of the venturi and slowing down. See it compressed there and extended there. It's slowing down and it's spinning to the right, drifting to the left. So everything that we see is quite well explained in some of the current theory. Now there is some additional things that I feel needed to be changed. They're just not right. That a proton is not one big gigantic proton, and a neutron is not one big gigantic neutron. A proton is 1,836 particles, 918 each, positive and negative, up and down. They're dipoles. And a neutron is 918 of the positives and 919 of the negatives. So you always, always, always have additional negatives in the core, and then that creates a negative surrounding core that keeps the additional electrons that want to get in, but they can't, and they have to stay at a distance away. That's called a quantum. Now, we are going to look at this, because this is, I think, the whole reason we are into global warming. Well, I don't say the whole reason, but I don't think looking at carbon dioxide is the answer at all, and it is diverting attention absolutely amazing. Now, I hate fossil fuel. We are ruining the earth, literally ruining the earth. Dropping these bombs into the earth, fracking, and they're sucking out all the pressurization in the earth. It's like taking a beach ball. It's like, it's just, the Earth's crust is collapsing. Sinkholes are falling everywhere. Things are falling into the Earth. They're just falling into the Earth. It's collapsing. We're collapsing the Earth. I have videos on this going back 4 years at least. Now, the sun and the planets we have here, that's our solar system. These other solar systems are right around us. We have no idea where they are because the light is not specifically at same speed. So if this is really pulling its light back, the redshift, it could be right here on our doorstep. We have no clue whatsoever how far that is away because we're thinking it always comes at a certain speed. No, not so. It comes at a certain way depending upon the molecule that's emitting it, absolutely. But that molecule emits it under forces that it has to contend with. And if it's pulling that energy back to where it came from, it will be redshifted. It will stretch out. So they say, oh, that thing's just running away from us 1,000,000 miles an hour. No, it's not. It's right on our doorstep. And it's shooting that light out and it says, hey, I can't leave. And it says, well, I'm going to try like hell. I'm going to get out of here. And it says, I'm going slower, I'm going slower, I'm going slower, I'm going slower. Oh, man, I'm just barely going. It gets out and it just continues until it hits us. And then we say, ooh, look how slow that's going. That thing must be all the way across the whole universe. We have absolutely no idea. And I just saw pictures this morning. Somebody sent me, I can't remember who it was, but I appreciate whoever it was, of all of the things that we see in the universe, and then you see them in these globs and stars and all that, and then all of a sudden they take it away and they show the filaments that connect them, and it's just wires running to everything, and there's big globs and little globs. What does that mean for us? That's all nice, that's wonderful. Speed of light's wrong, Hubble's wrong. We don't know where we are in the universe. We're scrubbing into ether, rubbing our planet into heat. What is this stuff we're scrubbing into? Who knows? Some of it might be floating in from who knows where. It's not always going to be the same denseness. We are an attractive source, first of all. Secondly, the entire system of these planets and things are spinning somewhere, it appears. I can't comment on that 100%, but I can comment on the Earth is round, all the planets are round, we are spinning around the sun, and the Earth is additionally spinning. And that makes a whole new effect on the barometric pressure. Hello, it's Roger, Mudfossil University, still studying interactions of the magnetic and electronic nature on planet Earth. Now, if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, you see the Earth. Okay, this is the Earth's surface, and you see a glow, a white glow here. All right, now I claim sinkhole collapses make electronic discharges into the atmosphere similar to a laser beam. Now, what would happen if that did happen? If that did happen, you would see this layer of atmosphere, which is quite likely the ionosphere, which already has a lot of electrons. And that is a layer. Some people would say that's the firmament. That's fine. Call it whatever you want. It completely surrounds the Earth. And it is a dense layer of electrons. When this beam of electrons smashes into that layer of electrons, it creates this, because that is the same exact effect as the Venturi, which in the light experiments I have shown many times, and I will show again, obviously. And you can see it is concussing upwards and out because it has originated from here. Now, the net effect of this is that this region already has plenty of electrons. It says, we do not want you here. And it sends them back down in a trickle, like almost like rain back to Earth, because they are just excess. That's what a sprite does. Okay. My claim is that almost always when you see these beams, and they are quite frequent now around the Earth, everybody's seeing them. And I believe that is due to the collapse of a sinkhole, the enormous hydrocarbons underneath compress and they emit an electron beam. And that's what you get when the atmosphere is very disturbed and the surface of the Earth is in flux. The surface of the Earth is impressed or sucked in or out by the atmospheric pressure, high pressure, low pressure. It's exactly what it means. That pressure is on the surface of this Earth. What does that mean? The surface of the Earth is a fabric. It covers the holes in the Earth just like they were a wiffle ball. And that's the fabric of the Earth. I have a video on it about the cellular nature of Earth. It is nothing but like a wiffle ball. And all that stuff, when it collapses, it crushes the atomic particles into emission of electrons. You can notice this water spout is obviously right exactly at the point of that. That is pretty solid evidence to me. Over here you can see extreme atmospheric pressure changes. This is what happens. High pressure comes in, takes over for low pressure. Low pressure comes in, takes over for high pressure. There's a ripple literally in the surface of the Earth. All right, sinkholes like this, and you know, they are, some can be absolutely enormous, and some of them will be under the fabric of the Earth that will not even be seen at the surface, because there is so much depth to the cavities in the Earth now that there never was before, because we've sucked out all the oils and gases and fluids, and the fracking pressures are being diminished, and the Earth's surface literally is collapsing. So the net effect of that is, if this, underneath this, we can see this hole. So just let's say that surface did not collapse. On the surface, we didn't see it. But underneath, it could collapse 100 feet down. And it could still collapse 500 feet down, and you would still get electrons emitted through that fabric of the surface in a beam very, very similar to what we see. And quite often we see it with lightning that is actually literally heading up into the atmosphere. It's a phenomena that is a result of these sinkhole collapses. There is no other reason that I can possibly think of, maybe you can, but I can't, of these beams being emitted from Earth and seeing all of this structural damage in the Earth's surface. And the atomic, I did a study on atomic shock, which means that it's almost like a nuclear reaction, but it's atomic gases. And I looked into it because they were studying it because of spontaneous, which is not just, it's not spontaneous combustion. It's a shock of atomic gases in cylinders and so forth. You hit that with a ball peen hammer, you can literally make that thing explode. You send a shock wave through it, it starts shock, and it's over. And that's what happens here. That's my feeling.